Enjoying the show? You can help others find it and enjoy it too by giving us a 5-star rating or review. If you feel like reaching out to us with a question or comment, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit our website at mywifethedietitian.com, as well as our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Enjoy the show. It's Rob and Sandra from My Wife the Dietitian, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Hey, Rob.
Hey, Sandra.
Let's talk about 9 different nuts.
Nuts. I love nuts.
I know. I love nuts too. And we did a whole episode on seeds, the poor cousin of nuts, because they're a little bit cheaper to buy.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that nuts and seeds contain a myriad of good for us nutrients.
A myriad.
Yes.
And there's a plethora of goodness in them.
Exactly. And they're so crunchy little bits of goodness. It's a nutrition nugget in its pure form.
Exactly. It really is.
Okay, the first one, almonds.
I love almonds.
Because it starts with an A.
Oh, that's a good
Might
way
as
to do
well.
it.
Yeah.
Sure. It's got to start somewhere.
Yeah. Do you remember, have you heard of the almond mom?
No.
Really?
Really? Should I have? Is it where would I have known that from?
Oh, it's just a kind of term.
I've heard of the Almond Brothers. That's different.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the health benefits of different nuts and almonds as we're starting with them. They have B2 riboflavin, vitamin E, which is something hard to find in a lot of our foods. I mean, a lot of people aren't getting enough vitamin E in their diet, but it's not really recommended to have a single dose supplement of vitamin E.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It used to be, but it isn't anymore. They found that it's dangerous. So you want to get your vitamin E through your food.
Yeah, there's
ideally
a little bit in a multivitamin, which is fine, but it is fat soluble vitamin E. So it's not something that your body can get rid of quickly like a water soluble vitamin.
Right, right.
Anyways, so almonds have a good amount of vitamin E because those are the healthy fats, the monounsaturated fats in almonds. So that's a good way to get your vitamin E. And also magnesium, which is a mineral.
Magnesium. So nuts have different minerals in them, hey? They're not... Okay, I guess that makes sense. They're different foods, so...
Do you remember we talked about selenium?
Yeah. Selenium was pretty much only in Brazil nuts.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because
that's true.
that would be the second nut we're going to talk about it because it's B.
Oh, I see. Brazil nut. Yeah, okay.
So, sorry. Okay, first of all, before we go to the Brazil nut, with the almonds, they regulate cell function. They have the antioxidant properties and help support heart health with those monounsaturated fats.
Those are good things.
Those are really good things. So definitely a good snack to include.
Mm-hmm.
Almonds are awesome. And how do you use your almonds?
Oh, I eat so many nuts. We have a good selection of nuts. I throw them in my cereal. I'll just eat a handful of nuts as a snack too. I'll put them in my salad. I like them with cottage cheese, which is maybe weird, but I like the different textures of the soft cottage cheese and the creaminess and the crunch of the almond. And I'll throw them in a stir fry as a little topping.
Yeah. You can get slivered almonds or the whole almonds. You can make or buy almond milk. So a plant-based alternative made with almonds. You get almond butter as an alternative to peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of ways to eat almonds.
I like mixing it up as a snack too. If you want like a little snack while you're watching TV at night, cereal, like I don't know, some kind of like
Crispex or something.
Yeah, one of those kind of like chunky cereals. Some peanuts, almonds, raisins, whatever else you want to throw in there, some popcorn or pretzels or something. I don't know. Like it's kind of a somewhat healthy snack.
Like a Chex Mix, it's kind of trail mix kind of combination.
Yeah, exactly.
Yummy.
Bit of everything, but the almonds or whatever nuts you have are a nice addition to that mix.
Crunchy and salty, a good alternative to chips.
Yes, that's kind of where I'm going with that.
And a little bit more hearty than popcorn, although popcorn's a good one too sometimes.
Yeah, true.
But variety is the spice of life. So
that's what they say.
That's what they say. So they do have those monounsaturated fats reduce the LDL, the the lousy cholesterol. So that's a good thing. And they do have fiber. And yeah, they're pretty good little nuggets. So Brazil nuts, we talked a lot about Brazil nuts the other day on a nutrition nuggets, all about selenium. And that's probably the main mineral in Brazil nuts that I want to cover, selenium, but also vitamin E.
Mm-hmm.
So vitamin E and selenium work together because the selenium protects the vitamin E from oxidation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it's really cool that they kind of work in combination.
Totally.
And so that actually helps support your immune function. And I think we discussed this before on that selenium episode about how Brazil nuts and foods that have selenium, the mineral, are very supportive for the thyroid and thyroid health.
The ones that have selenium.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good. And also they help with reducing inflammation.
Oh, right on.
Because it's the antioxidants help with they remember scavenge free radicals.
Mm-hmm. Those free radicals.
Yeah. All right. And we just eat them in our mixed nuts or have a Brazil nut a day, kind of almost with the multivitamin. Or if we're having a vitamin D, you can just take a Brazil nut because it's almost like a little supplement almost. But it's not a supplement. It's food.
It's real. It's a real deal.
It's a real deal, but it has so much selenium that it is a good way to get your selenium.
Yeah. I usually I'll have 2 Brazil nuts as I'm making my breakfast.
Yummy.
Yeah.
Cool. The next one, letter C, is my favorite nut.
Oh, the cashews.
Yeah, I love them. They're so delicious. And they're high in copper, which is a different mineral.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. And this is all based on kind of where they grow, I guess, hey, and what nutrients are in the soil. Well, I mean, I know that's the case with selenium, but I'm assuming it's maybe similar with some of the other nuts and what minerals they have.
Yes. Copper, manganese. They're good for actually bone health because of the copper. They help with energy production and also good for immune health.
Nice.
Yeah. And the next one, macadamia.
Oh, they're good.
We don't actually have those right now, or we don't.
They come in that mixed bag we get.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because they're like round and white, aren't they? Like kind of roundish, and they're really crunchy.
Not as crunchy as almonds. They're more like cashews.
Do you think? I think cashews are. Well, yeah, I suppose they're this crispy, crunchy almost. Yeah.
This is a true nutrition nugget, isn't it?
Right.
Holy. Yeah. Well, because they have some calcium, they're a really good source of calcium. They're also helpful for bone health.
Nice.
And brain function.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah. Because they have vitamin E also. So that's like the almond.
Right on.
Yeah. All right. And then the next one we can talk about are the pecans.
Oh, pecans. We don't get them too often. They're tasty. You get them in things. They seem to be popular for baking and like in muffins and cakes and things that you get, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So they have vitamin B1, which is thiamine.
Oh, neat.
And a little bit of zinc and copper. Do you remember what else is high in zinc?
Seafood.
Yeah, we just did that one last week, I think. Yeah.
Seafood and pecans. Or pecans.
Pecans have some zinc. Yes. And so they actually support our brain function, red blood cell production, and cell growth. So that's another good nut to include.
No doubt.
And I skipped over one, and this is a really good one. And we did cover this when we talked about Nutella. What's in Nutella?
Almonds, isn't it? Nutella.
What's the little, we had one of these trees back there, but I think it
died. Hazelnuts.
Yeah.
All right. What am I thinking?
Yeah.
You're right.
They make them, it's like a chocolate spread. They're so delicious. Hazelnuts.
Yeah.
They're good.
They are good.
That's what's on the table.
I keep thinking those are acorns.
I know you keep saying, oh, these are acorns, or you actually said they were something else, but they're actually hazelnuts.
I was Probably saying, a friend of mine told me that he's Dutch, and he said that, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I very well could be, in Dutch, the word for squirrel is acorn, or vice versa. Something like that anyway. So I keep telling that story every time I see those, because I think the hazelnuts are acorns because they kind of look like acorns.
Yeah, they do. They totally do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
But they're not.
They're not. No. And they have another nut that has a good amount of vitamin E. So nuts are a good way to get vitamin E. As I mentioned before, it's hard to get vitamin E in our diet. So the foods that have those healthy fats usually have some vitamin E. So seeds also, but hazelnuts, they also have manganese. Manganese, not magnesium per se, but manganese.
That's different.
Yeah. And hazelnuts actually, well, with the antioxidants, they help neutralize free radicals. Right. And are good for heart health and support digestion.
That's good stuff.
Those are all good reasons to eat hazelnuts.
Yummy. Well, have you ever seen hazelnuts, like just the actual nut?
Yeah, there's some on the table.
No, but they're in a shell. You'd have to crack them all open. Like, can you buy a bag of like ready to eat hazelnuts?
Yes.
Have we ever done that?
Yes.
Oh, really?
And I used to get them. I collected them off the ground at a place that I knew the hazelnut trees, and dried them and cracked them, and we ate hazelnuts.
Yeah, I just mean, though, like, you know, in the store where they have all the nuts and you buy a bag of almonds or a bag of cashews, can you buy a bag of hazelnuts?
Yes, we have a bag right there.
I just can't recall what they look like.
And it says hazelnuts on the front.
What?
Yes.
Man, I got to pay more attention.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah, those are all ready to use a nutcracker, like Christmas nutcracker, and we can...
I don't mean I mean like just open it and eat it, not crack it and pick it out of the shell. I mean, like, what does the nut look like?
Well, these are the kind that you have to crack.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Well, they're just little. They're just the thing is, the coating provides protection for the nut because the nut will go rancid.
Right. That makes sense.
So it's actually, if you can, and you know, they always say if it's a bit of work to get to your food, that's a good thing. You eat less.
True.
When you have to work for it. And so, you know, actually using the nutcracker is good. It slows down everything so that you can savor your food and work at it. And yeah.
I don't have a problem with that. I was just curious. I just couldn't recall what a hazelnut looks like.
Let's put them on the list, and you can go for a scavenger hunt in the grocery store.
I will do that, yeah, because I will track those down.
And not in the butter form like the Nutella.
No,
actually
like
nuts.
The real nut. Okay.
Ooh, that sounds good. All right. Pine nuts.
Pine nuts. There's a lot of peanuts, like not peanuts, but nuts that start with P, because I'm thinking of a couple more that we can hit under P. So pine nuts. Those are really fun because they're always shaved and they're like the little slices that you add to stuff, right? And they're tasty. And
yeah, those are like, I think, one of the hardest nuts.
Oh, is that right?
They're really hard.
Huh?
Aren't they? I've used you can use those to make pesto with basil.
Oh, I see. And you're trying to grind it down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they're very hard.
That. Yeah, I only recall them in like as an accent, kind of like on top of food, like sprinkled on top. I don't know, and they seem like they may be shaved down from their original size,
like slivered.
Yeah, I don't know that I'd know what a full size pine nut would look like. And what does that come from? It's not from a pine tree, maybe a pine nut tree. I don't know. Interesting. Sorry.
I'll talk and you can look it up.
Oh, I was going to say, I'll talk and you listen. I'm asking too many questions that Sandra doesn't have the answers to.
No, I didn't say that. I said you could look it up.
Yeah. Oh, I see. Right now. No, I just lose myself here if I start going in.
Okay. So pine nuts have omega-3. So that's the healthy fat, and also the omega-6. So those are both of the essential fatty acids that our body can't make.
Right.
And we have to include in our diet somehow. So omega-3 is... We're going to talk a little bit more about other nuts with omega-3, but the pine nuts have both of those types of omega-3 and omega-6.
Nice.
Yeah, and they help reduce inflammation and slow cognitive decline.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. And the next nut is also a nut that starts with a P, and it's our son's favorite. We always get a bag of these for him. So he just sits and eats them.
Oh, pistachios?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the ones I was thinking of too.
Okay, yeah. And those are good for eye health, actually. They have the zeaxanthin. Remember we did a whole episode on eye health?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the eye health episode was back in the first 20 episodes we ever did.
Well, there you go.
I can't remember which one. But pistachios also have vitamin B6 and lutein. So the lutein and the zeaxanthin are really important for eye health.
Well, there you go.
And they also help with the blood sugar regulation. So that is important for people that have hypoglycemia or diabetes or gestational diabetes or any issue where they have insulin problems. So the pistachios help with blood sugar regulation.
I'm just looking up pine nuts.
Oh, what did you find?
I know I said I wasn't going to, but it is from the pine tree. It says it's the edible seeds of pine, like probably the pine cone or or some. I guess that's the seed, right? The pine cone is the seed. So,
yep.
But it also says the biggest producers are in like the eastern part of the world, like China, Russia, that part of the world. So maybe they have a different type of pine tree than what we have here. So that's why it seems odd. But yeah, interesting. There you go.
So walnuts is the last one we're going to talk about.
Okay.
And you eat walnuts every day.
I do. Yeah, they're part of my breakfast mix. They're tasty. It's supposed to be good for your circulation or your man bits or something like that.
You're so funny.
Well, I didn't want to say nuts because it's kind of just, we're going in the wrong direction there. So
that's hilarious. Well, they do look like a brain.
They do.
Walnuts are really good for brain health.
Because of the fat in the nuts?
Yes, they have omega-3. Remember I said there was a couple nuts that have that essential fatty acid, omega-3?
Right.
So the pine nuts do, and the walnuts.
Okay.
They also have vitamin E.
Okay. They all seem to have vitamin E. Isn't vitamin E, wasn't that like back when it was like considered the supplement to take, wasn't it for like prostate health or something like that? Or like, was it for like men's, like a man related health issue?
Good question. In the episode on selenium, we talked a little bit about vitamin E because they have done a lot of research in men with prostate cancer and prevention of prostate cancer, and using selenium supplements, using vitamin E supplements to help possibly reduce the risk. But they actually found out the opposite, that we should be trying to get vitamin E in our food versus taking a supplement, because the supplements could actually harm us. For some people, actually could increase the risk of prostate cancer and other types of cancers. And it is fat soluble, vitamin E, so we do not get rid of it like we would a water soluble vitamin. So if we have a supplement of it, that's a big dose, and our body can't get rid of it easily. It's stored in our fat, and vitamin E is something that we should try to get through our food. And every day we need food sources of vitamin E, and nuts are a good way to do that.
Perfect. And you said walnuts are loaded with it.
Yeah. And you're right about they're good for circulation. They're shown to help reduce our lousy cholesterol, the LDL, and help with arterial health. So that is great for circulation and good as an anti-inflammatory component in the diet.
There you go. One other thing I'll mention to you about nuts is if you're not someone who's been into eating nuts or buying them, and because it's, when you look at them in the store, they're like, oh my gosh, these are expensive. Yeah, they're expensive, but they last a long time because you're not eating like huge amounts. I mean, a bag of almonds might be $8 or $10, but it'll last you for a couple weeks. So really, if you look at the cost kind of per day of almonds or whatever other nut you're looking at, they're not really that bad. They last quite a while, so it's worth having them. And the mixed nuts, by the sound of it, are a pretty good option as well, because you're getting the variety of all those different nutrients and minerals all from the different kinds of nuts in the bag. So it's another good way to go.
Okay, so the 9 nuts that we talked about: almonds, Brazil nuts, cashews, hazelnuts, pecans,
Pistachio,
pine nuts, pistachios, macadamia,
and walnuts. There they are.
Now, we did omit one, and we'll do a whole episode on them because I love them. Peanuts.
Peanuts, which aren't actually a nut.
Right. They're not a tree nut. They're a legume.
Which is kind of confusing, which is why we'll do a whole episode on them, because I love peanuts as well, and they're so good for you.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of the same properties as nuts, but they're a little bit different as well. But yeah.
You know how we're always trying to get more people to eat more beans and legumes and lentils and chickpeas and well, peanuts are probably the most common, widely consumed legume.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, people don't usually think of those as nuts, but they are, and we will do an episode on those just to give you all the ins and outs of peanuts. So that is it for this week of Nutrition Nuggets. If you want more information on anything we're doing, check out our website. There's loads of great blog articles there. You can sign up for a newsletter when you're there. That's once a week. Great information. We've got some recipes, nutrition tips, that sort of thing. You can email us your questions if you'd like, if you have any. I'm sure you do. Don't be shy. Feel free to reach out, ask away. We will be more than happy to put an episode together in the form of an answer for your questions. Check us out on the internet. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Feel free to reach out to us through those platforms as well. Don't forget to share and rate and review. Those are great ways to help us and to get other people involved in the show. So thanks for listening. We will be back next week with a full episode. So in the meantime, have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife, the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.